Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daria if you are new here, and today's yoga practice is all aglow. So this flow is about brightening and enlivening, enriching the full body with really glowy, awesome lit up sensations. As you might be able to tell, I am currently in Kansas where it is incredibly windy, so I'm going to be doing a voiceover for the rest of the video so that you don't have to listen to this wild wind for your whole practice. If you've been practicing with me for a while, you know that's not my normal style, but we're working with the elements here today. So whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it and try not to blow away. We'll start today simply from child's pose. So at the back of your mat, spread your knees and then walk forward with your fingertips until you can bring your torso down between your thighs. And try to stretch out through your spine, lengthen the back of your neck, and then rest your third eye right down onto the mat. Begin to connect with your body and your mind today, noticing and checking in with yourself. Genuinely see if you can ask yourself, what's going on? What are you experiencing? What are you feeling? What are you thinking? And then begin to incorporate your breath into this practice of moving more internally. Feel your breath deepen. Feel it coat the inside of your torso from your pelvic floor all the way to the tops of your lungs. And then with the exhale, find a rinsing effect, as if every exhale breath that you take for the rest of this practice could wash something away that you no longer need. Take a big inhale through your nose right here. And a big exhale out through your nose, keeping the lips sealed. And from here, begin to just slide your palms forward, widen your feet, and glide into puppy pose, Anahatasana. Melt either your heart and your chin to the mat, or maybe your forehead. And keep your hips hovering right over your knees and let the tops of your feet surrender to the earth. You can keep your eyes closed here if that feels okay. And continue spreading breath through your body. Breathe into the space that is the back of your heart, especially if it's feeling sticky or held. And begin to press into your palms and your fingertips, and then make your way to a quadruped position, all fours, hands and knees, the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. As you inhale, soften into a cow shape in the spine, stretch your heart forward, lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, pull up through your pelvic floor to round the spine. Press the earth away from you. Let the space of the back of your heart get puffy and drop your head. Inhale for cow, ripple through the spine, stick your butt back, press your heart forward. And exhale for cat. Swallow up between your inner thighs to let your core contract. Couple more rounds through cat-cows. Now moving at your own pace. Ride the waves of your breath and see how liquid you can feel through your spine. Begin to maybe build some pace here, working up to more energetic cat-cows that happen more rapidly. Or if it's a slower moving day for you today, that's all good too. Now go ahead and tuck your toes behind you. Walk your palms about a handprint more forward. And as you exhale, shift your hips back toward your heels for active child's pose. Then inhale, round through hands and knees, all fours. As you exhale, glide back into your first downward facing dog of this practice. And start to feel length right away, lengthening down the backs of your legs, elongating your spine from your tailbone all the way through the very top of your skull. Drive down the space between your thumbs and your index fingers. Press there, down and forward. And then see if you can get all 10 of your finger pads involved, really stuck and rooted to the earth beneath you. You can pedal your feet, breathing down the opposite leg as it stretches towards straight. And then find steadiness and stillness, coming back to your breath. And walk your feet in just about a footstep, and then press down into your right palm, tent your left fingertips, then reach back with your left hand to grab for the outside of right ankle. Twisted downward facing dog. Revolve your torso toward the right side of your mat and see if you can gaze inside your right armpit. And then switch, re-anchor the left palm, tent right fingertips, then cross the midline of your body with your arm, threading right hand to outer left ankle. Keep pressing down and forward into your left hand as if your right hand was still rooted. Keep pressing with the same amount of intensity. Good. Reground right palm. Come back to your downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels and begin to round forward to high plank. Suction front body to back body. Then exhale, micro bend your knees and elbows and migrate back to downward facing dog. Super slow and intentional movement. Inhale, lift your heels like a wave, roll forward to high plank. And on the exhale, recede back, downward facing dog. Inhale, the heels rise, charge your quads, hollow your core, round forward, high plank. Exhale, glide gracefully back, downward facing dog. Magnetize inner thighs to the back wall. One more. Inhale, lift your heels, round forward. And exhale. This time, lower your knees down to the mat, bend your elbows, and melt your heart and your chin. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down, ripple through your core, and rise to cobra. Swell your heart forward to the very top of your mat. Keep a micro bend in your elbows and hug your shoulder blades together. Then as you exhale, tuck your toes, press to high plank, and then back to downward facing dog. And as you inhale, root down into left toes and sweep your right leg high to the sky. Three-legged down dog. As you exhale, lift your left heel, hug your right knee to your nose, connect them just for a beat, and then softly land your right foot to the top of your mat, inside right thumb. Lower your left knee to the mat, and as you inhale, sweep your fingertips up, kneeling warrior. Exhale and draw your palms to meet in front of your heart. Then shift your torso forward, elongating, and hook your left elbow to your outer right thigh. Create an anchor point there from which to twist. Draw belly button to spine and start to revolve toward the right side of your mat. Peel your right shoulder open by pressing your palms together and revolve your left ribs toward your right ribs. Now press firmly into your left toes and see if you can stay in the twist and lift your left knee, finding revolved crescent lunge. Stay very charged through your left thigh and keep rooting down into all four corners of your right foot. Undo your twist, anchor your palms, pick up your hips, and shift back to downward facing dog. You can step or glide the right foot back. And as you inhale, sweep your left leg high, three-legged down dog. Then exhale, lift the right heel, hollow your core, hug knee to chin or maybe nose, see if they can touch. And then step your left foot through to the top of your mat and sweetly sink the right knee down. As you inhale, lift fingertips high. As you exhale, palms meet in front of your heart. Press them together, and on an inhale, lengthen forward. On an exhale, find a twist, hooking right elbow to outer left thigh. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Stay very anchored through your feet. Imagine that your legs are kind of scissoring together, so you're staying lifted, and avoid sinking down into your joints. Good. Now begin to press super firmly into your back toes. See if you can use the strength of your legs to hover your left knee away from the mat. Then lift it up really tall, and then elongate from your heel forward through the crown of your head. Twist just a bit deeper or go more deeply into what you're feeling. And then take your gaze forward, root your palms to frame left foot. Pick it up and step or glide back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your heels and round forward, high plank. As you exhale, create the curves in your spine as you melt your knees down, bend your elbows towards your ribs, melt your heart and your chin. Untuck toes and ripple into cobra. As you exhale, tuck the toes and glide back to downward facing dog. And take a few easy breaths here, feeling the effects of all the movement that you've just taken. And let that absorb. Then inhale, sweep your right leg high. And as you exhale, lift the left heel, hug knee to nose, and then step right foot to the top of your mat as the left knee lowers. Inhale, fingertips rise. Exhale, palms to your heart. And then as you elongate, find your twist. Hook left elbow to outer right thigh. We'll take 2 breaths here. In and out through the nose, deeply, strongly anchoring you into the present moment. Can you take your gaze all the way over the right elbow? Then press into left toes and hover your knee away from the mat. Feel into any new space that you might have on this round. Then gaze down and begin to shift forward so more weight moves into your right foot. Press it firmly down and step your left foot all the way up to Utkatasana, a chair pose, but keep the twist, so prayer twist. Reaffirm the connection of your elbow to your thigh and then revolve from your ribcage toward the right, and from your belly button down toward the left. It's like you're plugging your feet into the earth. And take a big inhale to rise all the way up to stand, undo your twist and sweep your fingertips high. And then as you exhale, sink into chair with the fingertips reaching skyward. Then cactus your elbows, puff your heart forward as you stick your butt out. And on an exhale, deeply squat and give yourself a hug. Wrap one elbow over the other. As you inhale, ripple through your spine and rise Tadasana. Then exhale, cactus your elbows and find a baby back bend. Press your pelvis forward, swell your heart skyward. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, drop your head. Then inhale, micro bend your knees and elongate your spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, palms plant, step back to a high plank pose. Now from here, swivel both of your heels toward the right side of your mat. Anchor them down. Press especially the knife edge of your right foot down and root your right big toe. Then cactus your left elbow and stay right here. Or if you'd like more, begin to lift your left knee and maybe find Vashisthasana. See if you can bring your peace fingers to interlace around your big toe. Create a connection there and then stretch out in all directions. It's always okay to take any version of a modified side plank as well here. If you've hooked your toes, begin to release and slowly hover your left leg all the way back down. Root your left palm and make your way back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, sweep your left leg high, 3-legged down dog. Then exhale to softly step forward, drawing knee to nose as you transition. Left foot to the top of the mat, right knee sinks. Take an inhale and sweep your fingertips high, kneeling warrior. Then as you exhale, simultaneously elongate forward and create the twist, hooking right elbow to outer left thigh. Squeeze your inner thighs toward the midline and keep both of your big toe mounds digging down. One more breath here. And then begin to rise up your back knee. Press your feet into the earth. And see if you can lift your gaze all the way up toward the sky as you continue to revolve. Then gaze down, see that your left big toe is anchored. Press into that foot so you can pick up the right foot. It's okay if you're a little wobbly in this transition. It is a tricky one. Then softly step right foot down beside left. And find prayer twist for one inhale and one exhale. On your next inhale, we'll rise all the way up to Tadasana. Fingertips rise, heels dig down. Then as you exhale, sink deeply into chair. The hips go low and back, belly button plugs toward your spine. Then cactus your elbows, create an arc in your spine, and then curl into a big hug and a deep squat. Inhale, press feet down, lift fingertips, rise to stand. Exhale, cactus your elbows, stretch your heart up toward the sky, back bend. And then as you're ready, fold softly, sweetly forward. Take an inhale to iron out the creases of your spine, relax your face and your jaw. Then exhale, plant your palms and step back to high plank. Shift your hips and your heels toward the left side of your mat this round. So particularly the left heel roots. Can you root your left big toe? The left arm is at a diagonal as the right elbow cactus is high toward the sky. Stay or begin to lift your right knee high. Contract your left side body and then reach high with right arm and right leg. Maybe hooking the big toe with the peace fingers. Press more into what's connected to the earth. Stretch out even longer. And then if you had the toes, release and softly, slowly float your right leg down to hover over the left. And then revolve your torso back to face forward. Root the right palm and glide to downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels, hollow your core, round to high plank. Exhale, bend your knees, root them, bend your elbows, melt heart and chin to the mat. Untuck your toes and pull yourself forward into cobra, traction, palms back toward hip bones. Exhale, tuck your toes and press to downward facing dog. As you inhale, sweep your right leg high, three-legged down dog. As you exhale, lift the left heel, hollow your core, and step to the top of your mat. This time, we'll leave the left knee lifted and rise to a high crescent lunge. Float your fingertips high, then exhale, revolved crescent lunge. Left elbow to outer right thigh. Anchor it, affirm the connection, and then twist from your navel center all the way through your rib cage and revolve eventually the gaze toward the sky. And on this round, if you'd like to stretch out through your arms, go ahead and do so. Extend left fingertips down toward the mat and right fingertips up. And then bring your hands back together to touch if you extended the arms. Drop your gaze down toward your right big toe. Keep it there. Keep hugging belly button to spine. Squeeze your left heel in towards your sitting bone and then softly step the left foot down beside the right. Sink deeply into prayer twist. And here in prayer twist also, if you'd like to extend through the arms, go ahead and do so. On your next inhale, press into your feet, neutralize your torso, and rise all the way up to stand, the fingertips high. Exhale, sink to chair, Utkatasana. Inhale, puff your heart forward, cactus your elbows. Exhale, give yourself a big hug and sink deeper into your heels. And then inhale, rise to stand, ripple through your spine. Exhale, cactus your elbows, open your heart, maybe going a little more deeply into your back bend. Then take an inhale to rise to stand and exhale sweetly. Fold yourself forward, relax your head. Take an inhale to stretch out into a halfway lift and an exhale to plant your palms and step back to high plank. Shift your heels to face the right side of your mat. Root down through right heel and right big toe as you cactus your right elbow and reach your right knee high. Find Vashisthasana, any variation that you like. Maybe this time reaching all the way forward overhead with left fingertips. Now from here, begin to super slowly migrate your way to Wild Thing. See how long you can hover your left toes away from the mat before you place them down behind you. And then when they finally land, allow yourself a moment to enjoy this stretch, this full front body expansion, blasting open through your heart space. And pivot your toes back toward the side of your mat and gracefully find your way to half pigeon. So we'll draw the left knee to the left tricep and then the left shin to the top of your mat as the right toes crawl back behind you. And take a moment to lift high through your spine, stretch your heart to the top of your mat and lift up through the crown of your head. And then on your exhale, you can begin to fold forward into sleeping pigeon. Back toes can stay tucked, or you can untuck them if that's more comfortable for you. Enjoy this soft release. And even if it doesn't really feel super soft in your body today, try to breathe with a quality of softness. You can stay here or take the thread the needle variation. Send your right arm down under your left shoulder. And then root the side of your cheek to the mat. From here, you can stay, or if you'd like, you can reach your left fingertips up toward the sky and then create a half bind by stretching left fingertips all the way back behind you as if you're going to grab your left toes with your left fingers. Check in with your face, check in with your jaw, any spaces where you know that you habitually hold tension. Begin to rise back up to your palms, tuck right toes, and gently glide your way back to downward facing dog. And we'll go one more round, or just one more side. So inhale, sweep the left leg high. Then exhale softly, step through to the top of your mat. This time the right knee stays lifting and rise all the way up to high crescent lunge. Feel a lifting action from pelvic floor to fingertips, and then create your twist, but keep the length. Stretch back through your heel as you reach forward through the crown of your head. Press your palms toward each other and try to drive them right to your sternum. Extend the arms open if that feels good. Only do so if that's really feeling good in your body today. There's no need to take this if it's not feeling joyful. Then anchor palms back at your heart center. Gaze forward and down. Curl your heel in toward your sitting bone and then step the right foot down for prayer twist. Can you sink your hips even deeper? Maybe stretching the arms out to extend. Keep your toes bright. On your next inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Press your pelvis forward. And then exhale, sink deeply into a chair. Go deeper than you think you can. Inhale, cactus your elbows. Heart goes forward, butt sticks back. Exhale, give yourself a big hug and wrap into a little ball. Then inhale, rise to stand. Root your feet, lift your fingertips. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Last back bend here. Inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Try to keep your spine elongating and stretch your heart forward. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms and step back to high plank. Squeeze belly button to spine as you shift your heels toward the left. Anchor left heel and left big toe, and then reach high through your right arm and your right knee. Option to extend your right leg straight and reach your right arm all the way over your ear. Now, as slowly as possible, find your transition to wild thing. And try to explore every little sensation, every micro adjustment on this migration back to wild thing. And then when the right toes do land, press them down and try to breathe some expansion into the fronts of your hips, the space from knees all the way up to your hip bones. Good. Start to revolve back to face the side of your mat. And then root your right palm at the top. Pull your right knee to right tricep, squeeze your core, and then land your right shin down at the top of your mat, aligning for half pigeon. Left toes go back. As you inhale, rise, take a breath. Stretch your heart, and as you exhale, begin to fold forward. And allow your eyes to close if that feels natural, so that you can really explore the depth of the sensations that you're experiencing. If you did so on the other side, you can take the thread the needle variation here. Maybe eventually reaching the right arm all the way up and around to the back for a half bind. This is optional. Take what feels cozy and good and restful for you here, while still finding a sensation that is engaging. Not engaging the muscles, but more so engaging the sensational experience. An interesting sensation. Last breath here. Soften your face. Soften anything that doesn't need to be working. And then rise back up to your palms, walk them in, tuck your toes behind you, and press your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels and round to high plank. Exhale, sink knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Untuck your toes and pull yourself through to cobra. Inhale here. This time exhale to release your whole torso down to the mat. You can rest your chin or your forehead down. Then reach your hands back behind you with the palms facing toward each other. On an inhale, lift your heart, then lift your feet and curl your heels in and start to reach for your ankles with your hands. Create a connection there. Flex your feet and then begin to press your shins toward the back of your mat as you pull your heart to the top of your mat. Let these actions be equal and opposite. Maybe the thighs stay rooting, or you can begin to lift your thighs. Create a lifting action through your rib cage as your hips get heavier. Lift your gaze, floor bow, and then gently release everything down. And bring your palms to the top of your mat. Stack them, and then rest your forehead down to your palms. Draw your heels in and windshield wiper your legs from side to side to create a gentle release in your low back. Just let this movement feel organic and really feel good. And release your feet back to the mat. And then begin to lift your head, bring your palms beside you, and we'll rise up to a seat. And we'll take Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So bring your feet together and then let your knees fall open wide like butterfly wings. Hands to front of shins or to your ankles. Stretch your heart, elongate your spine. Stay right here, or you can begin to fold forward. But as you fold forward, try to keep elongating. So if you bring your hands down or your fingertips, imagine that you're pulling them back toward your knees. Let the base of your heart stretch forward. And then come back to the idea of letting every exhale wash away some degree of tension or some little tangled thread. And stay with your breath. And then when you're ready, rise all the way back up to a seat. And we'll find half lotus. Stretch your left leg forward. Draw your right foot, keeping it very flexed, to your hip crease. And then adjust so that you're sitting evenly down onto both of your sitting bones. If this is a lot, you can always stamp the sole of right foot to your inner left thigh. As you're ready, begin to fold forward. If this is feeling intense into the back of left hamstring, you can keep that knee a little bent, or if you have a block available, you can always slide a block under the left knee. And let your breath be the softening action that you need to find a deeper relaxation. And then rise, and we'll swap sides. Stretch your right leg forward, draw the left foot in, keep it flexed, and bring it either to your hip crease for half lotus, or you can take the foot to inner left or inner right thigh. And then before you fold forward, try to find that elongation in your spine and use an exhale to begin folding if you plan to. Keep an elongation through the back of your neck. Wherever you are, you can probably afford to drop your head just slightly, allowing the weight of your chin to fall towards your chest. Deepen and sweeten your breath as you stay for one more inhale. And a last exhale. And then sweetly rise back up to a seat. Undo your foot. Slide forward so you can root both of your feet down at the top of your mat. Reach your fingertips up. And then we'll lower to lie on our backs, using some core activation as we lower down, going slowly so you can feel. And then hug your knees into your chest. Root the back of your head and root your sacrum so your whole spine can be flat and stretched out. And then find happy baby as you're ready. Last shape of this practice. Grab for your feet or your shins, whatever's accessible. Then pull your knees towards your outer ribs on each side. Let this be playful. Find extension through one leg and then the other. Maybe both legs at once. Draw towards straight. And then hug yourself in super tight. Feel every muscle in your body activate like a fire's building inside of you. And then on your exhale, use that glow to burst open to Shavasana. Let all of the sparks that you've just created fall down toward the mat. And as you drift away into rest, feel the simmering after effects of all of this momentum, all of the conscious breath and movements, the activation, and also the ease. And now allow yourself to totally surrender. Like every muscle is completely untangled, completely warm and relaxed. You can stay as long as you like, and I encourage you to stay longer if you have time. And if you're ready, begin to flicker little movements back to your body. And then find a long body stretch on an inhale. And on an exhale, roll to fetal pose wherever you want to go. And then press your way back up to a seat. Build your seat to be spacious and even, so both of your sitting bones are actively pulling down. Shoulders draw away from ears and spine elongates. Press your palms together in front of your heart and feel yourself glow from the inside out, like you're radiating light around you infinitely in all directions. And take an inhale into all of this glowy energy. And an exhale to spread it anywhere that doesn't feel glowy yet, like you could ignite that space. Lift your heart towards your brain and then bow your brain in slightly towards your chest. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today or tonight, whatever it is for you. I hope you're feeling really glowy and really, really good from the inside out. If you're not already, make sure to go down below and subscribe to my channel because that really supports me. But I hope that you're doing great, and I'll see you very soon in another class. Bye.